Well, it looks like Modern Horizons 2 is one of the best-selling sets for Wizards of the Coast, but let's hope they don't get carried away with it. Welcome back to my channel. I am Mattcaster Mage, and I do make Magic the Gathering content every single day, so if you enjoy my videos, please hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so you will be notified for future uploads. I wanted to make this video as a response to all of the retro frame old border foil printings, that Wizards of the Coast has been doing recently. Now, as a massive fan of the old border foils, it's something that I talk about a lot. I probably talk about it too much, to be honest, but I can't help it. I just love the look of those old border foils. They actually look like they're going to be implementing these old border foils more often than not. It looks like it may turn into something that they could do maybe every other set. They'll throw in random showcase old border frames, and that's going to take away a lot of the special, unique nature of those old border foils. Now, this isn't something that Wizards of the Coast this is something they've done before in the past. Let's be honest. They have a tendency to take something that's special and then just keep doing it until eventually they're just not special anymore, and then the value of them each time you keep printing these type of cards just keep going down and down, and there's just less desire for them. So an example of that would be just the way they ruin products, like the way they ruined the dual decks, the way they ruined from the vault. They just keep doing it until the point where people just don't find them interesting anymore because they keep reproducing the same thing. But that's based on sealed product. When it comes to unique card frames and just unique choices on a new printing or style of card, let's go back to Eldritch Moon, okay? Eldritch Moon, the pre-release kits, were very unique. They were actually cool. They introduced something that was never done before, these double-sided foil tokens that they had. And these were really special. They actually sold for quite a lot back in the day, and they had a lot of secondary market value to them. Just the fact that they were unique, they were double-sided, they had two different versions of the art. It was really cool to see these foil tokens. Very unique, right? Well, look at pretty much every collector box now. You get the dual-sided tokens that are foil in every single pack. Not super exciting anymore, right? They kind of took that experiment and they used the market research from that, and they just kept extrapolating as much monetary value from that printing, from those type of style cards, until now they're not special and no one cares. Okay, that's just one example. Let's go with the box toppers from Ultimate Masters. That's what made Ultimate Masters such a highly sought after set. It was something very unique. People haven't seen this before. These extended frame cards, a lot of them are going for $100+ at release, really pushing the prices of these boxes up. And then what they did was they saw how much these were worth in the secondary market, and how much people actually enjoyed these cards, and then what did they do with them? Well, they ended up putting them inside every single collector booster pack. So they sold them as box toppers, but they used to be box toppers, which made them unique. Now they were just a form of card that you could get in a collector booster box. Now, a lot of this has to do with collector boosters, if I'm actually being honest. It's like they've taken everything that made them money in the past, and they're just throwing them into these collector packs, which is good, I think, for people who are going to, keep these cards sealed, like these boxes sealed long term. But when it comes to people who are collecting singles, it actually can lead to a more bearish trajectory in the future if you have these unique style cards. Now, another one would be, those mythic editions that they had where it was Guilds of Ravnica Allegiance, and War of Spark. They released those, unique 10,000 only, and that was it. And people ended up losing their mind when they couldn't actually get these things. They would send them out, the foil printed uncut sheets, and or the promos for another set. So those in general, yes, they're very scarce. They do have a limited print number, but the style of cards that they had in those full art planeswalkers with the foils, those are another thing Wizards of the Coast took and saw a secondary market research on and said, you know what? Yeah, people really are responding well to these things. Why don't we put them in collector boosters? Why don't we put them in regular boosters? And we'll just extrapolate as much value from the art style of that. And what kind of is annoying for me is someone who actually thinks like altered art cards are pretty unique, pretty cool, you're actually kind of stealing that style and like extending the art over the borders. And that was something very unique to people who are doing alternate art cards, and they kind of saw that secondary. Again, they don't look at the secondary market, of course they do, and they use that and threw it into the collector booster boxes now as well. So you have all these things, all these components that make me worried for people who like collecting singles. Right? For, you know, at least you're going to maintain the value. You won't be able to do it as much if they keep doing this. And that's why I wanted to bring this up, because of the old border foil situation, okay? So, as someone who really loves these old border foils, you know, first it was done in Time Spiral, and they had the time-shifted cards, and they brought the old border, old-style frames back, and that was cool. They had those old border foils back, and it was fine. They did it one time, though, and they weren't greedy with it. They did it one time, people did enjoy it, and then they kind of set that aside. And they're like, okay, that was it. That's a unique set now. Let's just let it age well. And then it had a lot of secondary market increases over time because it's a very unique set. And then you had Time Spiral Remastered come out, and you're thinking, well, you know, they're going to do the time-shifted cards, and they did, but it makes sense because it's Time Spiral. We kind of knew it was going to happen. You had those beautiful old border foils, and they're very rare. You get about 1 to 2, usually on average, per booster box, and those boxes rose in price, and those cards are still worth a lot right now, but they have been kind of dropping, except for a few cards here and there. But the majority of them have been on the downward trend. Then a few sets later, we get Modern Horizons 2, and they bring back the old border frames as well, and you get the old border foils. They even added an extra one, which is the etched foils, which I'm not the biggest fan of, seeing some of the box openings so far, but nonetheless, they brought back the old style border foils as well, and now we have the Support Your Local Game Store promos of Fabled Passage in the old border foil frame, and when I saw that... When I saw that, I started to get that kind of worrying feeling of, oh boy, this is them extrapolating as much value as possible out of their reprint equity and their style of choice, you know, when it comes to the old border frames, and they're going to milk this thing for all it's worth. Now, I can see in the future, this is a prediction, I hope I'm wrong, but I could see in the future them having it as a part of almost every set in the collector booster packs. I really hope not, because that's really going to take away the uniqueness of these old border, you know, foils. And as someone who collects them, you know, I'm not too worried because the old ones are unique because, you know, they're old, they're scarce. There's not a lot of good copies, especially in near mint, available anymore. But I just don't like the fact that they're taking something that was cool at first. I was really on board with it, the old border foils, and I still think they are cool. But I just think that they can take, you know, something that was cool, unique, and then just basically take away all of its specialness. And that's what I'm a little bit worried about when I saw that Support Your Local Game Store promo. I still think it's a cool card, Fabled Passage. You know, I'm probably going to spend some money in my LGS to try to grab one of those because it does look pretty sweet. But nonetheless, let me know in the comments what you guys think. Do you think that Wizards of the Coast is going to continue these old border foils well into the future? Or do you think that this is just this will be the last of it and then we won't see them again? They'll kind of set it on the shelf like they did with the old Time Spiral time-shifted cards. Let me know in the comments down below. With that being said, I do make Magic the Gathering content every single day, so if you like my videos, please hit the subscribe button, bell notification, and I will see you in the next video. Being a patron will help me produce more market movers and add to the funds that I will use for my random buys, and also to my coffee fund, because I drink a lot of coffee for these videos. And here you can see a link below in the description that will give you all the tiers and what you get in each tier, so I hope you guys click and think about joining, and with that, I'll see you next video. Think about supporting the channel in that way. If not, subscribe, like, leave a comment, and I will see you again in the next video.